All right, so back to the video. I found an extra uh, competitor to choose from, so we were able to get that minimum of 3 to be able to move forward to the next stage. So here we are. Excuse me. We have the NeuronWriter app open. Okay. And really in here, what we need to do now is set this up for the writer. The writers are using this and the editors are taking it from this and putting it into a Google Doc. So we need to get this set up. So this is a product review, remember. Up here, GrabCAD reviews. So I have these content briefs preloaded into NeuronWriter for you, which I like to load them up for the writer just so they have something to kind of use as an outline template when they're writing the article. If they want to delete it, they can. But they can use it as well, or I actually also attach it to the Trello card. So both of them have identical information. Okay, so let's go ahead and say load the content or the article brief, they call it. And in this case, we'll go to load brief tab and we'll choose single product service review. Product or service review template. Go ahead and click on that. It will load it up. And we want to do that first before we put in a title. This is the meta title. Because if you do that and then you load this afterwards, this template, when it was saved in NeuronWriter, was with a blank title screen. So it's basically going to delete what you just put there. So it's better to just put the template in there first and then put the title afterwards, and then we'll save it. So the title here is the meta title that we've already created and we put into our content brief. So if we go back to our content brief, we can choose that title. I'm just going to select it, Control C for copy on Windows, and I'm going to paste it right here inside of the title for the meta title. I'm also going to, which I forgot to do before, is check the length of this title, because if it's too long, we can't even save it on our Trello card, we can't save it on the content brief, we can't even use it because it's too long, and it will get chopped off or tourniqueted by the search engines, okay? Because they have a specific number of characters that the title can be as far as length before it cuts off the letters. And that's a bad user experience. So when we have our readers searching for our articles, we want them to be able to read the entire article and get all the information they need, not guess what the rest is, because they may just skip over it and go to a competitor's. Some people don't like to click on them. They're afraid maybe an advertisement's going to open or something. You know, they're going to get spam or whatnot. Who knows what the reason is? But let's go ahead and just copy paste it in here and hit check. And it's going to show us an example underneath what our title looks like, and we're going to be able to see if it gets cut off. So it has to be 60 characters or less. And when we created this, you remember we gave that instructions to our AI, and we told it that it had to be a specific number of characters, right? Here in the restrictions, use at most 60 characters. Okay, so that's exactly what it did. We pulled that information, we put it in our title. Title is good, so we're golden here. So we don't need to do anything else except go back to NeuronWriter, check our title again, and we can see here that it looks like we're only getting 66% of our SEO score generated from this title, because that's the only word that's in the title. This GrabCAD has no space in it. Our GrabCAD does have a space in it. And the reason why is because the research that we've shown, you can see the score here for KD, this little title bar. This is the Ahrefs information based on our subscription, and it's showing it at the 10. If we take that out, that space out, and search again, oh, okay, it actually is the same either way, with or without the space. So sometimes they're a lot different based on a space or not. And in this case, they happen to be the same. So if the space did get put in there or taken out on accident, in this case, we would still be okay. And to double check that, I'm going to go into Ahrefs and not the writing tools, but I'm going to go into our actual account and I'm going to put in the GrabCAD. Now let's do this. If we go to Keyword Explorer, we have this box here, and they charge a credit for each search. But if you put more than one word into this Keyword Explorer, it only counts as one credit. So even though you have more than one word, so let's do that. Let's put in grab CAD with no space, and we'll put a comma, and then grab CAD with a space, and we'll hit enter, and we'll look at the differences here and see if there's any difference. Now, if you look, both have a 7.4 thousand volume, but if we look over here a little bit closer, even though they both have a 10, we can see the actual one with a space has 7.4 thousand volume, meaning clicks or searches per month. In this case, 42,000 for the one above with no space. Okay, so maybe somehow that space got put in there and it shouldn't have, because in this case, or maybe the information has changed. If the keyword is found 2 or 3 months ago, maybe the volume's changed by now. And that's why it's important to really just look at the keywords again before we actually write the articles to make sure it's still what we thought it was going to be. And in this case, a 42,000 volume is much better, and the global volume much higher. Topical volume is the same, CPC is the same, CPS the same, and everything else is the same. But I think I want to go with and take my chance on getting more volume because that means more readers, more links, more affiliate sales, etc. So we can go back into here now. We could do our search again from the beginning of NeuronWriter. But in this case, let's just assume that the space was not there when we did our initial query. Okay, and now you can see I took that space out. It gave us now 100% because we have the word written exactly like it's showing below here. And we now have a better title that's going to give us a higher SEO score out of the gate just because of the title. Now we need a description, okay? And these are the keywords that are worth SEO juice, if you will. And so what we need to do is we need to try to use as many of the higher percentage ones as possible. And in this case, I'm going to use the AI generate description, and it's going to create a description based on these keywords below the box. It's also going to try to stay within the character limits up here, and it's also going to take into account the title that we used for the article. So let's go ahead and just generate that, and quickly we'll get a description. And then we just need to double check that it is not too long. In this case, it is. It flagged it yellow, showing that it's 1,094 characters when it maximum should only be 960. So that means we need to edit our title here to be in compliance with the maximum character length, or it's going to get cut off again. So instead of getting cut off, let's go ahead and just make an edit here to get it in compliance. So try to leave the keyword phrase, in this case, GrabCAD. So as long as that's there, we're not going to change that. Everything else, we could even try to incorporate some of these other keywords that were not used, and that'll help raise the SEO score even more. So in this case, let's read this. Discover why GrabCAD is rated 5-star by users. Unleash your creativity with GrabCAD. Workbench, the top CAD software for sharing, tracking, and collaboration on 3D models. Okay, so let's see what we can do to kind of edit this down a little bit. Let me think. don't like this. This sounds cliche from an AI tool. Unleash your creativity. I see that all the time. So let's get rid of that and just say experience GrabCAD Workbench, the top software for it. And does that put us in compliance? Not quite yet. I need to cut out a few more words. So let's see, experience GrabCAD Workbench. Take out the. I need 10 more characters. Top CAD software for sharing, tracking, and collaborating. Let's just say sharing and collaborating. Take out tracking. There we go. Okay, now we're in compliance with the character limit. We're not going to get cut off. And I really couldn't use any of these other keywords, so I'm happy with this. We've used a lot of the keywords on both the meta description and the meta title. So I'm going to hit save and close. And you can see now my SEO score has already jumped up to 26 without any content even written. This is going to be deleted here, so it's not even counting those as keywords, hopefully. Maybe one or two it might be. And you can see here it's highlighting the keywords. But again, that's for the readers or the writers to deal with from this point on. So we're good here now. The only other thing we need to do inside of NeuronWriter for the writers is to provide them with the link to find the article so they can write it. So we're going to go over here to these three little dots next to the file folder, and we're going to come down and choose to share, edit, or share editor, edit, and save access. Okay, and that's going to provide a link. So we're going to choose here, share access by link. And then what do we want to share with the writers? We want to share the content editor and the top analysis competition so they can look at those articles if they need to. We don't need to share the search console data with them. That's really nothing that they need to be able to write and do their work. So all we have to do now is hit save and get link. And that will provide us with the link for the Trello card. I'll hit copy. And I'm going to go back to Trello. And inside of Trello attachments, I can either choose the attachment button here, or I can choose to add another attachment in the section here. Either place is fine. And then just Control V to paste in. And if you want to put some text here so that the editor and the writers can find it easily. And I'm going to just put NeuronWriter link. And that's it. We'll hit insert. And that will now put a link here called NeuronWriter link, and they can find it easily, click on it, and go right to the article. So we'll go back here, we'll hit OK, close this box, and I'm going to save. You can see down here, changes have been saved, so we can safely close the window now. One more thing I wanted to show you, just right here, this little toolbar. This is going to show you how many queries we've written. If you mouse over it, you can see the monthly limits. We've done 6 out of 75. So remember when I was talking about creating the queries, these are the queries, the content writer. How many of those have we created already? And how many do we have left? So if I had to use 2, or I had to try 2 times to be able to get 3 to 5 competition links or competitors, then that number is going to go up to 75 pretty fast. And then the plagiarism checker down at the bottom, we also get 75 chances to do plagiarism checks. So either that's 1 per article, or if we do 2 or 3 per article, it might dwindle that down to a lower number. And then how many projects we're allowed to have based on our account settings. So just to keep in mind, if you ever wanted to look there, and you can also see where it says monthly limits renewal, and it'll give us the date of when our 75 gets replenished and starts back at 0 again. So you can see here, just looking at the date, based on March 10th, that is basically the start of our month for the NeuronWriter account. So even though today is the 29th, the end of the month, the physical calendar, it's not the end of the month for the Neuron account. All right. So I'm going to go ahead again, just hit save, make sure I did save it, and then I'm going to close the window. I don't need the title tag anymore, and I don't need Ahrefs anymore. So we'll go ahead and close those. I don't need that anymore either. That is all we need here. I'll just check yes for setup in NeuronWriter. And now I can close the content brief. So again, I'm going to check my title in case anything changed. Everything looks good. So we'll go ahead and close that. And we'll go over here to the title generator. I don't need this anymore. Now, if I'm creating more articles, I'm going to keep those open and use them again. But since I'm done, I'm just going through this presentation. I'm only going to do one. So now that we've started that first one there, we just need to move this for the writers to be able to access. Okay, so you can simply just click on it, right click, and choose to organize, move. And then we're just going to move that into that edit folder like I told you. So we'll go here to the content calendar archives, move. Oops, sorry, I should have went into the next little window and just put it down here in the main folder. But to show you again, we'll go organize, move, and I should have, instead of clicking move, I should have hit the little arrow here. So let's go ahead and find the actual in editing article. These are the suggested ones. If you don't see it there, then you can go to all locations and start from the top and basically just kind of click on the arrows, content, articles, and then here it is, in editing. Now we actually want to move it to that one, so I'll click on move. And then it'll say everybody has access to that. We'll be able to see this. Is that okay? And yes, I want them to see it. And then we'll just verify it. It's actually into that folder. Okay, so sometimes this folder will need to be cleaned up. We need to kind of organize this a little bit more. There should really only be the articles that the actual writer and editors are working on, which generally is only a couple at a time. So we do need to clean this up. So anyways, the ones we were working on here, 5-star grad CAD, there it is. Looks like everything is good, and I apologize for that noise. Got a little construction going on here. But this is our article. That's all we need. We need to see it shared. And if you even wanted to check on it, you can click on here. You can see that the editors and the writers are all assigned. We're golden. We don't need to do anything else here in this. So now I'm just going to go back to Trello, and I'm going to finish Trello up. Okay. So really, I got the link for NeuronWriter. I have the checklist. If the checklist is not added, we need to add the checklist because each writer, each team member basically is going to check off boxes from their checklist. And it's the same checklist for everybody. Okay, so we already have that, but we don't have the actual template. Okay, so the one that I assigned in NeuronWriter, I also need to attach here. So let's go here, and it's a Google Drive. I could go by attachment if I knew the link, but I don't know the link yet. So let's go to attach a file. And then let's find that file. Now, it's the same title here. So if I can just copy that title and then search for it here in the attach a file section. What did I do? Try that again. I think I confused it. Let's try this. Let's close that. Let's go back to GrabCAD. Wait, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Got my title on it. All right. Google Drive, attach. No, not gonna work. Okay. Maybe here. Choose a file. No, I don't want to choose a file from there. I want to go to Google Drive. All right, let's see why this isn't working here. Attach a file. Come on, create and attach. a document. What the heck? I think I need to close it and open it again. So let's close Trello. Let's give it a minute to close, and then let's open that back up, and hopefully everything works for us. And I think it's opening. There it is. Might be going a little slower since we are recording a video here. All right. So once it opens, it should open right back up to the content calendar that we were on. Let's scroll down to March. Let's open and let's let it load. And here it comes. Loading. Here we go. All right, Google Drive, attach a file. There we go. And now we can just paste that title there and it should find it. And there it is. Let's make sure we get the right one. I don't know why it's showing 2, but 2.2 content brief is the one that we did. So that's the one we want to attach for the team. So it's possible that I made one before and it's also in the folder, and I'll clean that up after we're finished with the video. All right, so there we go. We have the template checklist, we have the neuron, we have the content brief, and it looks like this was from the other one that it didn't let me finish. So I'll just remove that one. Okay. The other things that we need is we need to be able to create a WordPress link for the writer as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be the last attachment for us. And the only other thing we need to do at this point is we need to add labels. And the only label that we're going to put on it is the copy the team one when we're finished. If we put it on now and then we copy it, it's going to be on their calendar and they're going to wonder what this label is that it has nothing to do with them. So let's not put it on until we actually copy it over. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my browser. I'm going to go to the leadership toolbox and I'm going to create a new WordPress post for this article. So let's go to the dashboard and then let's go to post, all post, and then let's add a new post. So this is brand new. It doesn't exist already. You can search here in the bar for the article first to make sure somebody else didn't set it up for you, like myself, and then forget to attach it to the card. Now we have the title already still in our computer memory, so I'm going to go ahead and just place that in there. Really, the only other thing we need to do in this case is select that it's a review, and that's really it. I mean, the writer's going to do, and the editors, they're going to do everything else in here. They already have the checklist. So really all we need to do is save this draft, okay, and then take that URL, and that's what we're going to, down here you can see view preview draft saved. Let's hit view preview, and there we go. This is our link, so we'll copy it, and then we'll put that into Trello. So again, attach the link, and let's put WordPress link and hit insert. And there we go. So now we got WordPress, we have NeuronWriter, we have our content brief, and the checklist template. So that's it. Let's go ahead and now copy this over. So before I close it, I'm going to come over here and choose to copy. We don't want to move it because we want a copy of it left in the master calendar, and we want a copy for the team to work on. So here we go. We're going to choose copy. We're going to leave the title there. I'm going to leave the checklist, labels, attachments, everything. The board I'm going to change to the team content calendar. And for the list, I'm going to put it in the planned internal, and position can be that. That's fine. And we'll just hit create card, and that's going to copy it over. Now let me go ahead and add that label that says I copied it to the team calendar, and that's it. Let's go ahead and close this. We should now see the label here in the March that we copied it over, and if we go to the team content calendar, we should see it where we copied it. So here it is on the planned internal, and there it is, 5-star GrabCAD. Okay, now they don't have that green label, which is good. The writer should be automatically assigned for it. I have an automation set on this internal column here to add Imran. He's our writer at this time, and if not, we will go ahead and add him manually there, or another writer if another writer joins our team. So right now this is ready to go. Since he got automatically added on here, he's going to get a notification right now that says he's been assigned to a new article. We don't need to notify him. Sometimes if we haven't given him a lot of work in maybe a day or two, it's a good idea to just reach out to him and say, hey, we gave you another article, just kind of a heads up in case, he maybe is planning to take a day off or two, and maybe he might, tell us he's unavailable, and then we can assign it to another writer. So he's there. You could go to Slack, open up Slack, and then just go into his name and, shoot him a message and say like, hi, Imran, just assigned you an article. Let me know if you're not going to be able to do it, or let me know if you have any questions or something like that. And then he'll work on the article. When he's finished with it, he's going to move it into, he's going to first drag it to draft in progress, which notifies the team that he's starting on it. And then when he finishes it, he's going to move it. If he runs into issues, he'll move it to issues and blockers. If he is finished successfully with it, he'll move it to in editing. And then from there, you will then get the article and go through to make sure that he followed the checklist, he completed all the steps required of a writer, he did a good job, and then if so, assign it to the editor. And then the editor, same thing. When the editor finishes their job, they're going to tell you they finished, and then you'll go in and check the checklist and make sure and verify that they did do their job. Everything's looking good before it goes on to then the publisher and the publishing. And then again, you're going to look at it again to give final approval before it gets published live in WordPress. So that's really kind of how the production pipeline is going to work. And when they finish it, they're going to move it into the published column. When they have things ready for you to review, you're going to find it either in the editing review column or the publishing review column. And then there are labels for each of those columns. And if you click and say show more down here, you'll see all the different labels that are created in Trello, and only a few of them apply to the different columns, if it's published or editing or writing. So just read through, and we need to put these labels on to notify the writers and the editors when we're reviewing articles, when we're approving articles. They do get notifications every time we add and remove labels. So if you see a member's name here, like you see FA, that's Fatima, and she will get a notification basically that says, our review's in progress. So she'll know, okay, let me plan. He or she is reviewing my article, and I should be getting notifications soon that says they approved it, or I have additional work that I need to do. And we'll use these labels to help notify them of that. So pending editing, ready for editing review, editing approved. In this case, content creative brief completed and approved to import for publishing. So in this case, once I finished this article, I did, and I've said, okay, it's approved for importing it into WordPress and completing the job from there. So once she's ready to continue on this product, she's going to then move this into the publish review column and notify us. We'll get a notification then that says it's ready for review, and then we can kind of go through and review that article for them. Okay, so back to the content calendar, we'll do the same process for all the next, the next article, the next keyword, the next, and when we start getting close to the bottom here, if you haven't heard from your manager or from me that says we have new keywords coming, shoot us a message and say like, hey, I'm almost out of articles to prepare for the team. I need more to, kind of give us that notification that we need to provide you with some more keywords. Okay, so back to the team calendar. Again, I've made additional videos on Trello, so I'm not going to rehash that too much here. I kind of already went through a brief overview of it, but watch the videos. I have videos for each of these things to break them down a little bit more for you. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And yeah, I'll answer those for you. Okay, that's all I have for this video.